So with the latest change, that now the name of the rectangle is only storing address of a primitive sequence of characters, let's see how we can make it work and compile as we had it before. So apparently we're no longer using string, so I'll just try to comment out this include just to make sure that we're not doing things in any way related to the string. So we'll just probably need to update this constructor. We're no longer using string, so I'll just comment it out for now. And the new name here will be pointer to string of characters like this. And of course, when we make changes in the header file, likewise, we would like to update our implementation. So this is the constructor that needs updating. Once again, I'll just for now keep the previous version commented out and replace the new one with this is just too much. We'll just replace it with pointers to characters like this. Okay. And we have changed the name of the member variable that stores now the pointer. So I'll update this name with pointer name and pointer name like this. Let's see if this is all we need at this stage to be able to build the new version. I'm going to save everything like this and build just to see what's happening. Set name. Oh, we already trying to use set name in our code, but we haven't added set name as a new function. So this will be a new member function which we have to add, and it'll simply look like this. We'll just add a void function which does not return anything. We'll say set name, right? And this function will take pointer, constant pointer to this name like this, right? So this will be, I don't know, I'll use underscore to make it look like a new name like this. We use a declaration here. This is just function declaration, and now we take a copy of it. So if you want to take a copy of the entire line, we can add it to the list of our member functions. I'll just put it at the bottom of this implementation file. It can be placed anywhere. So when you copy the declaration over to the implementation file, rectangle.cpp, the first thing, remember to get rid of the semicolon. If you forget to get rid of the semicolon, it's gonna come back with some strange error messages. In fact, we're gonna try to generate that error message. But first, I'd like to just simply say exactly what we did in our constructors. Just basically say pointer name equals new address of the string, or address of the new string like this. And of course, another thing not to forget, that set name is a member function of our structure rectangle. And so therefore, of course, we have to say right here that this is a member of rectangle, and this is scope resolution operator. So basically we say that the member function set name is in scope of structure rectangle. Okay, so let's give this a try and build one more time. Okay, so it builds fine. Let's find out how it works. So it seems to be working okay. We can start printing names of our rectangles pretty soon. And before we wrap up this introduction of the new function set name and how we add this a new member function to our structure and how we define it. I'd like to show you these errors that could be happening if you forget to get rid of the semicolon. In fact, it's very easy to do when you copy and paste like multiple functions over to the implementation file and add function body and everything, but forget the semicolon. So it's very possible to run into a situation like this. So I'm just going to say build one more time, and so the error that we're going to get is just saying that this is a redeclaration of a member, and this redeclaration is not allowed. So essentially compiler thinks that the function has already been declared inside the structure declaration, and now you're trying to somehow redeclare it again. So it just says why you're doing this, and it's not a good idea, and it's not helping anything, right? Because structure declaration is place for all declarations, and here this is supposed to be a definition. So obviously this is the idea that you just, you need to realize that declaration has to do something with semicolon. All declarations in C++ using semicolon. By the way, this is the reason why we have this semicolon at the end of the structure, because this entire thing here becomes a declaration of the structure named rectangle. And in C++, all declarations finish with the semicolon, okay? Just like declaration of any variable, again, it ends with the semicolon. Declaration of any function, including declaration of the entire structure. This is why you need the semicolon. And of course, if we forget this semicolon, again, the only idea that compiler can have derived from this syntax, that this has to be some sort of declaration. And it then thinks that, okay, what is set name, what is rectangle, and it complains about this redeclaration. So what we do is just, of course, we just get rid of the semicolon right here. Also, another example of very typical just a mistake to make when you are adding new functions to your structures, that you forgot this, right? You forgot to specify that set name belongs to rectangle. Let's see what happens. Okay, so we just build again. And so right here, what we run into, compiler begins to think that ptr name is an undefined variable, because this looks like a definition of global function set name that takes some kind of pointer parameter. It's trying to use this pointer parameter inside, but it has no clue anymore that this is supposed to be a member function of struct rectangle, and therefore it doesn't find ptr name, which really resides inside of the structure. So let's make it even less obvious. So we will comment out this entire line. Okay, so this is for now just an empty function to make sure that we somehow get to compile it. Right, so we build again, so this problem should go away. And what happens in the end is that right here we're attempting to use member function set name in our main implementation file. Compiler knows that this set name is a member function of structure rectangle. And so it says, okay, I will attempt to generate the code to make this function call. However, the linker this time, right? It's the linker error that we're getting. It says link. And it complains about unresolved external symbol, rectangle set name. So what is happening now that this definition of a function passed through the compiler, and compiler built this function which we're not even using. However, the linker is still its job is to find which function provides definition for this function which we're trying to call from our main program. So it just then it cannot find it, and it just tells you that it's an unresolved external symbol. It just thinks that something that has to be found somewhere in one of the object files somewhere, and it's not finding it anywhere. So it gives us this error. So remember, when the linker starts giving you errors, it generally means that something that you think is provided is actually not provided. So in our case, if we just like go back and add the scope resolution to the name of the function, which is the exactly right thing to do, because of course setName is a member of structure rectangle, so we do it the normal way, and now we can bring back the actual code that we're supposed to use here. So now everything is back normal. So these are the types of errors that you could be getting with respect to like simple mistake made around function declaration versus function definitions versus a scope resolution that has to be specified for member functions, and of course this just silly idea of forgetting to remove the semicolon at the end of this definition.